Oh, I was on mute. Can you believe it? I thought I'd conquered the Facebook problem with the sound, but I was so technically focused on turning off the Facebook sound that I forgot to turn on my own sound. So now I'm sure you can hear me. So I'm wearing a real cheesy, Dynasty. I think I got this in the era of Dynasty. It's got the little shoulder pads, you know. I figured it's the year to wear glitter. Darlene, where are you? Anyway, I wanted to just check in with everyone and wish you all a happy new year. And Darlene wanted to do a quick show and talk about what she's been up to. We're going to have some great guests on this year. We're going to start the mental health podcast for real. We really are going to commit to doing 2 episodes a week. We're going to start with 1 episode a week and then move on to 2 a week. And it's going to be about overcoming depression with humor and comedy. And we're going to start having fun in life. And we're going to not focus on anything that's polarizing or controversial, but because I've learned that the more you focus on the good in life, the more that becomes your reality. And if you focus on a problem too deeply, that problem becomes bigger and bigger. And the way to withdraw your attention from your enemies is to focus on something else, is to send love to them. And it's really not an original thought at all. It's one of the most ancient thoughts. At least it's 2,000 years old. Love your enemies, love your neighbor as yourself. That's what this is all about, this whole season. And if we just didn't, react so quickly with anger, and we kind of thought about our resentments and put them in a beautiful and started to love our enemies. I actually found out the hard way that resentment can hurt you. Resentment can actually stop you from healing. And once you've healed a resentment, your body starts to heal. I've talked about that before, but there's evidence of this. When the resentment was gone, a woman who had a tumor, her growth disappeared. So let's talk about that later. But right now, we're just going to have a fun New Year's show. And I don't see Darlene. Uh-oh. Where are you? All right, I'm going to try to invite her again. Does anyone else have Zoom? Because if you understand Zoom, there's a lot of little tiny apps at the bottom, and you have to click on participants to find the invite link. And ever since the pandemic, copy invitation. I learned, I started having Zoom as a monthly thing because I was going to do these shows all the time. And I do a lot of recovery meetings on Zoom. And it's amazing. There's an international women's meeting, an international co-ed meeting from all over the world, 24 hours a day, every hour on the hour. People from Iceland, New Zealand, France, Spain, Africa, Dubai, everywhere. Even Russia. You can go to meetings and you can see people in a room and they're all sharing their experience, hope, and strength to stay sober off not just alcohol, but depression, depressing thoughts, anger, resentment, fear. It's pretty amazing. There's no dues or fees. It's like group therapy, but it's free. I mean, you should donate $1 for your home group, but I'm blabbing away here. I'm hoping you can hear me now, right? Yeah. Well, all right, let me send this to Darlene now. So you got to paste the link from your computer to the phone. Sometimes when I'm pasting and cutting from my Apple computer, my Mac, I think that the link is in my thumb because then I can just press it into my phone and the cloud pastes it. That's pretty cool. Because when I was growing up, all we had were payphones and, a kitchen landline on the wall. Really only one phone in the house, I think. My parents had a Princess phone in their bedroom. Who remembers the Princess phone? I feel like I'm talking to the fog because I can't see any of you. I'm afraid to click on anything here on Facebook in case it disappears. Wait, there I go. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Happy New Year. All right, so just put your thumbs. Can you hear me? Yes, I think so. Anyway, um, right in the chat. Oh, wait, she's calling. Oh, she's calling. Hey, honey, it's Darlene. We're on the air. Are you there? Oh, oh, wait, one sec. No, we can't. We're live. I'm going to have a private call. I'll be right back. Stay right there. Hi, is everything okay? Oh, shoot, no. Okay. Okay, so Darlene and I decided to do a 30-minute show today, just a little hello. And then she didn't hear from me right before the show, so she thought it was canceled. But she's going to be on with her camera off because she's getting ready for a New Year's party. And she's probably naked. Okay, those are my dirty jokes. Um, I was reading an article today called Resentment Gone, Growth Healed. I thought that was so cool. And then I heard the story. And it was about a woman who had a financial resentment against a man who was ripping off her husband's company. And she suddenly felt a swelling in her. This is like over the process of the anger and resentment. And she felt a really hard abdominal growth. And she realized, I've got to wrestle this to the ground in addition to going to the doctor. But once the resentment was gone, the growth disappeared. There's something to that. There's an emotional connection to all of our illnesses. It doesn't mean that we're here in this earthly plane of life that you can heal, you can have a broken arm grow back immediately, but there's so much invisible assistance that comes to you when your thoughts are in the right place and when you stop all the worry, fear, and resentment. Those things sort of it's like standing on a garden hose and stopping the flow of life, the flow of good coming to you. And when you're liberated from all that and you're free and clear and you're not trying to control things, whoa, it's amazing what happens. Doors open, strange phone calls come, job offers. I went through a few years of really incredible hardship after my husband left. And, bless him, he put all his bad debts in my name and stole from me, but I had to forgive him. I couldn't carry that resentment around. And there's these stories in my book, but they're really funny. I turn everything into comedy when I write. For some reason, it comes out funny. Maybe that's the process I have for dealing with pain, but I never had that before I had my spiritual awakening in 1994. And that's when I got sober. I was able to translate everything into humor. So every bad thing that ever happened to me became fun and funny and kind of a gift. And everyone has a different process with spiritual growth. Yours won't be the same as mine. I mean, some people are great orators and public speakers, but I can't help but see the humor in life because it's absurd. What are we doing here if it's not to have fun? And it took me a long time to get to that point, though. I was 40 years old when I got sober, when I woke up, when I became alive. And ever since that day, 1994, September 11th, 1994, when I got sober, I was struck sober after being a radioactive drinker. I've been on a magic carpet ride, I have to say, through all the trials and the weirdnesses. Oh, there she is. Hang on. Hi, Darlene. Are you there? Oh, hi, Darlene. She's probably getting dressed, so she's not on camera, but we want to say Happy New Year, Darlene. Are you on mute? I'm just assuming. Oh, I'll unmute you. Uh-oh. Disappeared. I got to get her back in. This is going well. Oh, it's Mercury retrograde. That could be the reason. And for all I know, none of you can hear me at all because I've not been able to check to see. All right, here we go. Unmute. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here she is again. Admit. I'm just sitting here talking to the air. Darlene, can you hear me? Unmute. You're muted. I'm sorry, poor Darlene. We had our wires crossed. It must be this Mercury retrograde thing. What happened? Oh, well, maybe today's not meant to be, but we'll come back in a couple. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow on New Year's Day or Thursday this week. All right. Well, I'll just have to go over here and look again. So anyway, I do have several sequin outfits that are from the 80s. This is it's kind of itchy. It's kind of like, so we're going to a party tonight, and we go to this annual New Year's party with Bob Meyer at Bob Meyer's house. Bob Meyer was the showrunner for Roseanne. Oh, here she is again. Let me get her back in. And he actually gave Chuck Lorre his first job on, I think, Roseanne or Sybil. And then he did Grace Under Fire. He's known as the Diva Wrangler. He was the head writer for all these sitcoms starring, difficult women. Grace Under Fire was Brett Butler. Darlene, I think she can unmute. Hang on. I'll try to unmute you. Figure out how that's done. I'm afraid to click on this. How do I unmute you? Can you just click your unmute button? It's that little red thing. All right, let me see. Okay. It's Mercury retrograde. Wait, I gotta be able to figure that out. Wait, I bet you there's a way to unmute you down here. Let me see. How do I do that? You know what? This is so silly. Unmute themselves. Darn. Okay, wait.
Wait a minute, there I am.
There she is. There's a beautiful girl.
Hi.
Hi. I love your hair.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I am certainly not ready. You look beautiful.
No, I just do this. I just do this on. No, I mean, literally, I've had this in my closet since the 80s. And I've never worn it. It's like a Dynasty Joan Collins or Linda Evans jacket.
It's really pretty. I apologize. I didn't think this was happening, and I'm going to have to jump in like 10 minutes so I can go get ready to leave to go to a New Year's Eve party.
What party are you going to tonight? Who's going to be there?
It's a dinner party at a restaurant that's shutting down the restaurant for just friends and family and stuff like that. So there will be lots of people there. It's exciting.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
I just told everybody we're going to a party at a writer's house. We go every year. Bob Meyer, he's wonderful. And he was the head writer on Roseanne, Roseanne Barr, Grace Under Fire with Brett Butler and Sybil Shepherd's show. And so he's called the Diva Wrangler. He knows how to wrangle the divas,
Nice.
And he gave Chuck Lorre his first job. They're old friends. Chuck created Dharma and Greg and 2.5 Men and Mom, that great show on addiction.
Yeah, that's really great. That's really great. But you know, while I have a minute, I will just say Happy New Year's to everybody. And I'm not sure what you were saying about Mercury retrograde, but 2023 has been a kind of difficult year. So
Yeah.
2024 is a little bit better, you
What
know.
happened? Is everything back in your life in order, or do you feel that why was 2023 so difficult for you? Because it was
There's
for all of us.
there's been a lot of death. I mean, my dad started that off in March, and then it's just been ongoing, and we lost two people in um Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. One from cancer and one that was sudden and unexpected.
Oh,
Both
that's right. I'm so sorry.
one was in her 50s, one was in her 60s, and so now families are dealing with that. And it's just been a lot of loss and a lot, but you know, we just have to trust. You know, I went to a meeting this afternoon and it was like just, you know, trust that God is in control of everything and everything is happening for the perfect reason. So I just
Yeah.
take a deep breath. And like I said, I apologize for this snafu. I just did not, I usually hear from you. When I didn't, I just assumed it was not happening today.
Oh no, I have trouble texting people back because I got 90 texts today, all in a row at 1 o'clock or 11 a.m. And I was trying to actually take a nap before this so I could, it's been a really we were dog sitting for 2 weeks for our son-in-law's dog. I mean, Larry's son's dog, and they're in Hawaii. And so the dog keeps me up all night because I have to go out with him because of coyotes and wolves. His son won't let the dog out by himself. So
Right.
it's like
Makes sense.
2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I haven't slept much.
So,
But
well, certainly I've been up all day today and I was hoping to take a nap before I went to, but I don't think that's going to happen. So will I make it to midnight? That's the big question. I may be actually sleeping when the ball drops.
well, we
So
usually just go to the 9 p.m. version of the New York time because we're at 9 o'clock. We watch the ball drop in New York, and everybody goes home.
yeah, see, I don't get a choice in that. Now, if I was out there, that would be a good deal. I never thought about that.
Well, you
Maybe
look rested. You look great.
thank you. I don't even have makeup on yet, so
You
I'm
don't need
getting
it.
there. Mm,
Actually, you don't need it. I don't. It's like
thank you. Thank you very much. But I hope that everyone has a very lovely New Year's, a safe New Year's Eve. And when we come back and get into our podcasts in January, I'm looking forward to that.
me too.
Yeah, very much so looking forward to that. So thanks to all the people that are hanging out with us and that will come back in January and I don't know, see what we have to say in 2024.
And I just want to tell you, I forgot to tell you this. I got a notice the other day that we're in the top with the top 10, or it said the top 10 out of 90 true story podcasts. The Moth, which is the famous Moth, people tell true stories at NPR. They're number one, we're number five.
Oh, very good. Very
True
cool.
stories of synchronicity and uncanny coincidence.
Well,
God
very
Show's
cool.
mental health podcast. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because
That's
they're true stories. That's what it was all about, true stories.
yes. And we definitely have true stories that are being orchestrated by God, which is really cool. So more to come in 2024, and I'm excited about that. And Lydia, my sincere apologies that you're gonna have to handle the rest of this for everybody alone. I'm sorry.
Well, get ready. Have fun tonight. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Happy New Year. I love
Happy
you.
New Year to you too. See ya.
See you this week, sometime later. Okay.
Bye.
Lots of love. Bye, honey. I want to read everybody something about control, giving up control that I heard in a meeting this morning. I have to tell you, 12-step meetings aren't just about, it's supposed to be anonymous, but that's not the part I'm talking about. It's like group therapy that's free. And it's at one point I had a friend who said, I wish I could go to those meetings. I don't have that problem, but they have all sorts of 12-step meetings, including Codependence Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Warriors Anonymous, I think, Emotions Anonymous. I've heard of even that kind. But it's based on the 12 steps, which are simply surrendering your fear and worry to the power of love. You can call, your higher power anything you want, really. You can, if you don't believe in a power greater than yourself, and go to the ocean and try to stop the waves. That's all I can say, And a lot of people come from really, they don't want religion in their lives because some of them come from really fundamentalist, scary religious backgrounds where there was a fear in punishing God. And I don't believe in that at all. In fact, I know that not to be true. God is love and all good all the time. So whatever we're creating here that seems bad and evil, it's our own creation. We do this to ourselves. And I don't believe in objective evil, but I do believe that people create their own, usually self-centered fear can develop into that, into envy, greed, and catastrophic things, wars, territorial war. I mean, and tribal wars. It's unbelievable that humans at this age in this decade are still hurting each other and killing each other. There's no reason for this, you know? I mean, the great peacemaker came 2,000 years ago to say, love one another, stop being selfish, stop being self-centered, care for the poor, care. And it really is the purpose of life, I think, is to overcome our selfishness. And believe me, I haven't done it yet. I mean, I was laughing about an incident back when I was drinking, and we went to the Magic Castle. I was with my boyfriend. And the Magic Castle, you have to say open sesame, and the wall opens. Of course, there's a guy behind there looking at who you are. And he wouldn't open it for me. And I went, don't you know who I am? Oh my God, my date went, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. Today it would be like Lauren Boebert doing that. Oh my God. And I thought I was so famous. And to be honest, being on a sitcom is just phase one of what I was really going to do with my life, Haven't finished the other part yet. But I'm in the middle of trying to work it out. I have some things coming out probably in the next couple of years. But right now, I'm kind of enjoying the process, the actual journey itself. And I heard a really cool woman, you might know her, Nancy Allen. She was in the Brian De Palma movie, Dressed to Kill, and lots of movies. She said the other day to me, I don't want to be anywhere but where I am right now. Right now, I don't want to get anywhere else. And I went, wow, that must be so relaxing to not still have to achieve something and accomplish something. And I know we all need to make a living, but that desperate yearning to be known and seen and famous and wanted and adored and approved of, it's all bullshit. It's really what you can give that makes your life complete and fulfilling. And I'm learning that again. I go through phases of learning it, then I take my power back and I start to not have as great a time, and then I remember it again and I'm happier. It's weird. So I want to read you this thing we heard today in the meeting. Every time I go to a meeting, I hear exactly what I need to hear, exactly. And today I heard this. And it would help a lot of people, I think. Quit trying to control everything. Quit being the director. Don't worry about what you don't have. Focus on what you have. When I start, and this is from the big book this is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. When I stopped living in the problem and began living in the answer, the problem went away. Think about that. I have not had a single compulsion to drink or worry or have fear since that day that I decided to not worry anymore. When I stopped looking at the problem and looked at the answer. Okay, I put in the words worry, stress, and fear, but this is about alcohol, but truly alcohol is just a symptom of the internal loneliness, that hole in your heart, when you feel like nothing will fill you up. And there's not enough sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the world that will fill you up. There's no material thing, no Tesla, Ferrari, or mansion. Honestly, the more the hoarders know that pretty well. All that junk in your attic, does it make you happy? Maybe, I don't know. You can't really cuddle a piece of gold. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I'm disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. That's from page 417 of the big book of AA. And there's a great chapter in there called We Agnostics. And when I use the word God, I always do a disclaimer because I know there's so many people are turned off by that word, but the word God in our circles can mean uh, gift of desperation, group of drunks. Matthew Perry uses that term used. God bless him, rest his soul. I can't believe we lost so many people this year. Matthew Perry was saying to Frank Azaria, if you have trouble with the word God, use group of drunks, because that's what we are. We're all trying to help each other, and it's really feeding your soul to help another person. So it's really cool. Whenever I'm staying in the present moment, I'm happy. Whenever I think about the future or the past, I immediately get into some sort of rigor mortis, a little bit of sadness or fear of the future, regret from the past. Those things are bullshit. Your head can be a really bad neighborhood, so tell it, shut up. Tell the negative committee in your head to sit down and shut up. Have a happy, happy new year. I love you all, and God bless you. And we'll see you on the show maybe sometime. I think it'll be the week after next, the week after this. Darlene and I have to set up a schedule. And we're going to have Noreen McClendon on. I can't wait to have her on. Wonderful woman. And she's doing more for her community. I can't wait to talk to her about what she's doing for prisoners and for her community and the book she wrote, Hurt Highway. Okay, so we'll talk to y'all soon. I love you all. Have a happy, safe new year. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And shout out to everybody here. And this will be posted on YouTube after I edit out all the glitches. Okay, lots of love. Bye. If I can shut it down.